Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I'm proud to be part of In Shape America. I love it. I love it. These are not my pictures, I swear. I don't even know these people. No, I do. I'm kidding. So, thank you for letting me come. I'm having a blast so far. I don't do the stage. Is that all right? Do I scare everybody? I'm not going to hurt. I'm not going to hurt you. All right, so I am from New Jersey. That's a disclaimer. And I don't know what you've heard about us. All I can tell you is that we've heard about you. You're very friendly. So no matter what happens to me here this morning, I go home, I'll never see you again. So this is good. So I want to say happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday In Shape. Happy birthday to you. And happy birthday to Doris back there. Out in the wings out there. She's 30. Just go with it. Happy birthday, Doris. You look great. Now, wherever I go, I like to soak up the local culture. I like to meet the people. Scared a few of you this morning. Don't know if you're even still here. And there is a big difference between Indiana and New Jersey. This is you. And this is me. What's up with that? What's up with that? So, as you know, Shape America has taken on a massive piece. 50 million strong by 2029. And the reason why moral courage fits into that so well is because it's not anything but all 50 million children in the United States. It's a big ask, right? And we're going across the country to recruit as many people as we can. So I want to make this real for you. You never go wrong with a baby. Everybody do the ah. This is not my baby. This is Morgan, and she's not the class of 2029. She's the class of 2032, because I couldn't find a baby that was the 2029 baby. Can someone raise their hand if they have a 2029 baby? That's it, that's it. Let's give it up. So next time I'll use a clip of your baby. Okay. I don't, no, you can keep her. So this is Morgan, and what I think about with Morgan is, what will life be like for her through school? What kinds of things will she learn from her health and physical educators? What types of experiences, what kinds of relationships, which is the most important thing, will she have with her teachers that make her say what a guy at the bar last night said to me? He said, back when I was in high school, I had these two really cool teachers. One of them was my phys ed teacher. It was this woman who, she got it, he said. She really knew how important it was, the time of my life I was in, and she connected with me. It really wasn't about phys ed class. I remember her because she connected with me and she got it. That's what we're looking for. That's what takes moral courage. And it's easy to be a keynote and come out here and speak to the most enthusiastic, passionate, motivated teachers in the profession. Today, we're going to talk about the rest of them. The ones that are sitting in their health classrooms right now, in their gymnasiums, if you will. Plenty of champions, but the others. Why don't we talk about this dirty little secret we have in our profession? Why don't we do something about that? We need grit about this, and we need to learn how to have moral courage for the next 100 years and beyond on behalf of Indiana, right? And or wherever you go, right? So let me talk a little bit about what 50 million strong isn't. It's not an extra thing I'm asking you to do. We're asking you to do your job, right? It isn't a campaign or a set of books I want you to read or a thing that's added to your day. What frustrates me about going across the country and people say they don't know what 50 million strong is, yes, you do. Yes, you do. The day we announced 50 million strong, here's what we did. We're like, yeah, yeah, oh man, I'm all in. Yeah, I don't care what it is, yeah. 50 million, yeah. Oh, count me in, man, this is freaking cool. Ah, raw. Who cares what else it is, right? But we're giving you tools and resources and information that would make you the person best postured to help us get your kids there. Be a great teacher is the message. Go above and beyond who you are. Give of yourself and of your time. When you go into teaching, there is no more you. It's all them all the time. And if you're not cut out for this, maybe it's time to find another profession. Insert applause here. I hire teachers for a living, could you tell? Right? So it's very, very important that we think about 50 million strong as something we can embrace. Being a teacher that uses what they know, forges ahead with service to children, K through 12, and don't tell me that a 12th grader doesn't need you as much as a kindergartner does, right? Or a confident and skillful mover doesn't need you as much as an unconfident or non-confident or unskillful mover does, right? Don't tell me that health is the footnote to physical education, because it is not. It is health and physical education together that helps us bring children to health literacy and physical literacy, the language of our profession, if you will, right? So much has changed for us in the past decade, right? I envy the undergrads that are going into our profession. Let me get a Yahoo from the undergrads. That's what I like. That's right. I envy you because you're going into a profession with so many more tools and resources than I had when I started 3 weeks ago. Like gray early. So it's really important that we embrace that which we know is for and about kids. 50 million children across this country can't succeed with just a quarter of our physical education and health education teachers being dedicated and being champions. And there is, a sleeping army of real good champions that we don't know about yet. But for the most part, you go into school every day. You know what I'm talking about. I supervise these people. I've been on the phone with moms who are crying to me saying, please get my daughter out of his class. She's humiliated. She feels uncomfortable. You know who these people are. And it's hard. I'm not going to pretend that it's not hard, right? What it is moral courage. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Moral courage is about doing that right thing regardless of the consequences, right? And, I have moral courage in my job as a supervisor every day. Every single day. Every interaction I have with teachers to try and push them to be great. And I get the push back because I have people who are not reflective. That's moral courage, right? The PE teacher that is doing wonderful things, and the colleague across the gym who's just doing nothing but horrible, unsafe, dangerous things with their kids. And here's the message I have that's very, very hard for me to say. Not really, because I'm from New Jersey. I just want to, I want to tell you that if you are the teacher doing the right thing, and you watch across the gym as another teacher does the wrong thing, if you say nothing, you're as guilty. You're as guilty because you're not having moral courage. Oh, Judy, you can say that, but do you know what kind of a storm it would cause if I went up to that person and said, yo, man, we don't play dodgeball. It's so 1970s. What's wrong with you? What would happen? What would happen, really? The person doesn't talk to you anymore? Well, let's see. In New Jersey, we call that good. So I don't get it. I don't get it, right? So we say we're champions, but how are we going to reach out and elevate the rest of the profession? Shape America doesn't want to reach their hand into your gymnasium and pull out that which is great or get rid of that which is wrong. We have to take back this profession from the ground up. And we're going to help you. We're going to help you. The website is awesome. The resources are awesome. The leaders are awesome. But in the end, next week you go back to school and you step into that gymnasium in the life that you have at school, pumped up from the great resources you got from this conference. And does life go back to normal? Is it business as usual? Because something has to change and someone has to be uncomfortable. And it's the them that has to be uncomfortable. And that takes moral courage, right? And it's, you know, I'm not pretending like this isn't a tough ask, right? Because I went after this said teacher where mom was crying several times, many times. And, you know, I got the grievance against me, got the lawsuit against me. And the difficult thing about that was awesome. The difficult thing about that is, how far was I willing to go? And in the end, it was my reputation against his. Go ahead, take me all the way to court. Go ahead. My file in HR is this thick with certain things. His file is this thick. Let a judge get that in front of him, right? We don't take the extra step because we're afraid. Where does that come from? What is the worst that happens? Are we afraid to lose our jobs? Are we afraid that our colleagues will condemn us for throwing one of our own under the bus? Who are you here for? Is this too much of an angry face? No. Who are you here for? Right? I betcha if you stepped up and did just subtle things, like say to the person who's like dodgeballing it, hey, did you see that recent article in the Jopert about games like this? Did you see the position statement? Did you know? Hey, I got this great chasing, fleeing, and dodging activity I got from the conference. You want to co-teach with me today so I can model it for you, make you feel stupid? Do I go too over the top? Is it all right? That's right, I'm coming for you, baby. Yeah. So, moral courage in our profession takes time and passion and commitment on your behalf. Every child in your school district. You know, when I first heard the phrase 50 million strong by 2029, I said to myself, wow, my class size just got really big. But in my district, in my realm, I'm in charge of about 6,800 kids in 5 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and a high school. And my teachers run the gamut, 33 physical education and health teachers. And, you know, you've got these 3 buckets, the superstar teacher leaders who are going to continue to do the good work, the middle people who are doing the right thing but doing the bare minimum, and then this 3rd bucket that is doing real damage, right? If it was my son or daughter in that person's class, wouldn't I be pitching a fit? Right? If it was your son or daughter in that class, wouldn't you be pitching a fit? Or would you back off that moral courage and say, oh, I don't want to make it difficult for my son or daughter in that class, so I'll just be quiet. No, that's not the Jersey way. We don't be quiet. I mean, we're friendly. I don't know what you've heard. Forget about it. But every once in a while, it's time for a throw punch. That's a joke. Just want you to know. You're not laughing at that. I feel like you think I'm serious. I'm not serious. What am I going to do, Dan? All right. So this is the piece that advances 50 million strong. This is the piece that helps others understand our value. Right? You can't tell me a principal in that building doesn't know what's going on. And if they don't, shame on them. The physical educator who says, you know what, my principal doesn't bother me and I'm just fine with that. No. No, swing open those gym doors, get that principal down to see what you're doing, but get that principal down there to see what the others are doing. Because the principal ultimately is culpable and liable for the actions of that teacher. In a way, as a supervisor, I nurture the curriculum and I nurture the best practice, but in the end, it's the principal whose butt is on the line, right? There's something wrong, like, for example, when broken bones are coming out of one particular person's phys ed class, right? That's like abusive. And we can't turn a blind eye to that, right? There's something wrong when you've got to go in and console a girl in the locker room who's crying because she's been humiliated, because she just got weighed in front of her peers for BMI. Like real stories, right? The real stories we never talk about, right? The difficult stuff. My teacher's looking at me weird stuff. The stuff that we don't need as a stereotype in our profession any longer, right? And then there's the daily things, like, does anybody know how to assess correctly in physical education anymore? Or is it just, let's do the bare minimum in assessment so that we don't really have to do anything on our prep? Okay, kids, you're here, you're breathing, you're dressed, and you're on the gym floor. Good for you. No, I can hire any Joe Schmo off the street to come in and play kickball. Joe Schmo can come in to health and watch a video for 3 days. You are a certified professional, a diagnostician, and someone who should be well respected in your school as the expert in health and physical education. Clap for yourselves. Clap for yourself. And it's the truth, right? And if you don't feel that way, you better get in front of somebody quick, right? So every time there's a new principal in my district, I come with the PowerPoint, 27 slides exactly. Hi, can I spend some time with you to let you know what health and physical education is and what we're looking for, and here's a checklist, and this is fabulous, and if you're not on board, I'm going to slap you. And I never had to slap anybody yet. I don't really slap people. I don't slap people. So it's really important. And it's about doing the work before you need the ask, right? Tons of paperwork has been done on, and research has been done on advocacy. Get friends before you need them, right? Make sure you're out there with the Board of Education, letting them know how your field day went, letting them know how your family fitness fun night went. They're not going to know unless you say something. And when you're in front of your Board of Education, when you're in front of your principal with all those good things, when it's time to say, hey, I really wish you wouldn't cut a PE teacher, now we're going to listen a little better. When you say, look, I don't have enough money for equipment, can you help me and sign off on this grant? I'd really like to go to the Indiana Shape Conference, can you help me get there? Those are the asks. Those are the asks. You keep clapping, thank you. That was like a little clap. That was like a golf clap. It was like, okay, it's too early for you. Too early for you. All right, so we have to permit ourselves to act ethically, especially when we see others not doing that. All right, so when you think about for you right now, what is the major concern you have for your program? Is it money? Is it a colleague? Is it facilities? Is it class size? Is it lack of respect from other subject area teachers? Is that your principal's disengaged and uneducated? What is the ask? And whatever that solution is, it better include moral courage. Because gone are the days when you're inside your gym or inside your health classroom and you're closing the door. I need you and others to be the go-to person in your school culture. Next Tuesday, we have a professional development day. And the high school principal asked one of my health teachers, could you come in and do a brain booster with us and do a stress relief thing with us in between the modules? She not only did that, she's bringing in massage therapists to do mini massages for staff. And that's the way you get it done. Shout out Allie Cahill, awesome. Nationally board certified health educator, really, really good teacher. And those are my kids from Clinton School, not my own kids. Somebody else's kids. I just borrow kids. All right, so we talked about why this is so hard, right? There's going to be fractured relationships. There's going to be fractured relationships. But is it so much harder than what you feel every day when you go into school and you see the wrong thing happening? Is it all that much different? There's a lot of time that goes into it, a lot of emotion that goes into it. Listen, I'm having a really hard time at school right now. You wouldn't think that, right? How could the Shape America president-elect be having a hard time at school? You know, I do every day. I do every day. And sometimes it's so much easier to just ignore it. To just ignore it. In fact, that's what we all do in the end, isn't it? We just ignore it. I walk into a gym, and a teacher's sitting behind a desk while his kids are, you know, playing the game. It's like, really, dude? Really? It's got to go in writing. Administrators, above all people, need to have this moral courage. Your principals need it. Your supervisors need it, right? Your vice principals need it. They also need to know what to do. They need to know what to observe when they're in those classrooms, right? And, you know, when you channel that moral courage and you're challenging the status quo, you're mixing it up, and people don't like change. Have we noticed this? I mean, this change is fun, but other kinds of changes that affect your daily work are not so much fun, right? Having a new superintendent, oh, that's fun. You feel like you're starting all over again, right? Having a new principal, oh. Hi, I'm the physical education teacher. Oh, you had a bad experience? That's great. Oh, thank you. Let me teach you what this is now, right? And I often ask audiences that are not our audiences to close their eyes and remember what it was like to be in physical education, right? I would hope that many of your experiences were good. If they were not so good, then you obviously changed that, right? But we have to tap into that which people internalize and say, I'm going to take those feelings into my decision making. Wrong. Wrong. So, but this is an ask that is a must. 50 million children are reaching out to you. If they were all in this room, and you had to look, if you looked at their faces, and they gave you their stories, they would be a mixed bag of stories. You want children going home, running home, and saying to mom and dad, or whoever their guardian is, I had a great time today because of PE and health. You want kids emailing you, the parents emailing you saying, just like Ms. Cahill got last week, you have completely changed my daughter's outlook on high school. You are the most caring and wonderful teacher my daughter has ever had. That's the story of our profession. And it's not just a story, it's a very important fact. And I want you to close your eyes and listen to my words. Ready? Close your eyes. The work we do for kids is a matter of life and death. The work we do for kids is a matter of life and death. Open your eyes. What you're doing in those classrooms has to stick with them for life. Because right now, they don't talk about or think about their health. It's only when we get old that we start thinking about our health, right? Like my back pain and the pills I'm on, and I got an allergy medication, and I went to the eye doctor. You don't hear a 7-year-old talking about that because they have their health. We only talk about our health when we lose it. What is that about? Can't do that anymore. We have to make sure that kids value and internalize what it is we're doing for them, and make sure that those around us understand that we take this very seriously. This work is a matter of life and death for them. Yeah, maybe being able to shoot a basket's not going to save a kid's life. It's really more about what it is they're experiencing in phys ed. I mean, quite honestly, at Columbia High School, if the kid graduates without being able to shoot a basket, okay. I mean, don't get upset with me. Like, okay, you can't shoot a basket, so what? But guess what? Do you love being active and moving? And you're going to do it for the rest of your life, and maybe golf is your thing? Way to go, kid. Way to go. It's the lessons we are teaching, and it's who we are. They're going to help kids live healthy, active lifestyles, be healthy, literate, and physically literate. That's the crux of the 50 Million Strong initiative, campaign, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter what you call it. It means that you have to be all in. So I know that this has been a very tough like speech. And it's because we oftentimes spend most of our time, like hemming and hawing over the things that are going wrong. But so much is going right. And on the flip side of this, you have got to start celebrating you and your kids. You have got to pat yourself on the back. I went to an awards banquet last night, and I was so very much impressed. Could the people who got awards last night please stand up? Let's give them a round. Thank you. These are the people who are saying to their kids, I love you more than myself. These are the people who are saying to their kids, I'm willing to do the work it takes to plan my lessons so that you can see that's the care I take. Right? Very, very important stuff. Love it. And you have to be that person who understands that health and physical education really comes second to being a teacher first. Right? So if you're dedicated to kids first, it doesn't matter what you're going to teach, right? And it's what is the cliche? Kids have to know that you care before they want to know what you know. Did I get that right? Right? So who you are matters most to them, and then they care about the phys ed thing. Who you are, and whether or not you're someone that's going to love them. I don't care who they are. Kids want to be loved. That's it. That's it. Kids want to be loved. 12th grader, love. Kindergarten, love. 5th grader, love. Confident kid, love. Kid in distress, love. They just want love. Are you that person? Are you it? Because they know. And then the phys ed and health thing is really important too, right? Like sex and drugs and alcohol and stuff. I don't care what anybody says about last night. I was doing research. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right. So this is kind of my baby. This is my great niece, Melania. She loves Moana. She's obsessed with Moana. I don't know what that is. She's just, the kid, we bought her this doll, and like the doll sings to her, and she's trying to eat the doll. I don't know what that is. But this is probably the most important slide in my slide deck. Making a difference in the lives of children is about what you believe. What you believe. And in your schools every single day, you don't just go to work. This is not a job. This is a calling. This is a mission. This is a labor of love. And yeah, it's real easy to love the really good kids. But you know what? There's other kids. There's other kids who can't throw a ball. There's other kids who will fail a health test. There are other kids who are going to be disengaged. In fact, there's kids on the first day of your health class in the high school who will walk in with this big tude, and all they're really saying to you is, I'm going to challenge you, man, because I never met you before. And are you going to disappoint me too and tell me to get out? Because I'm putting you through the ultimate test. Are you going to pass? Are you going to be that person? And if you are, then maybe we're covering a lot of the 50 million kids that we're looking to get to, we're looking to reach. But we cannot leave any child behind. Not a one. Not a one. And so I am racing across the country for the past 2 years talking about moral courage. To Hawaii. Oh, it was so difficult. I didn't want to go. But I had to. I had to. I've been racing across the country because I have to help teachers reach 50 million children. And I can't do it by myself. I need you. So I need you. I promise you, I will do my part. I will challenge that teacher who's weighing that kid in front of his peers. I will challenge that teacher who is like blowing a loud whistle in a kid's ear. I will challenge that teacher who's doing nothing at the elementary but playing those damn games without anything behind them. Right? I'll challenge that health teacher who's putting in the 4-day video without anything for kids to do, but watch. That's my commitment to you. I will challenge Shape America in my role as president to do what's right for kids, as we always have done. So will you be committed? Did I go over? Will you be committed today to do something to change just one child? Will you do something on behalf of kids, right? Think about your kids right now. Can you get there with me? Think about your kids. Think about a particular class. Think about a particular child. Do you have them? Did you pick someone in distress? Did you pick your favorite kid? Do you have a favorite kid? Who did you pick? And what will you do? Each and every day, on behalf of 50 million children. That's what this is about. That's what I'm here to tell you. This is why I took a personal day from school, flew to Indiana, because I'm desperate. I'm desperate to get your help. So they say that change making is about falling in love with a new version of the future. So if it doesn't look like it did yesterday, what does it look like today? What change do you make today, next week, going into next month, going into the months ahead? How does it look then that it didn't look now? I know how Indiana looks now, like it didn't look yesterday. And that is a movement forward. That is a movement forward. I love Mark Sanborn. He's on Twitter. He's like this leader guy. And like he sells books and he tries to get you to be a guest, guest speak and stuff, and he costs $1 gajillion. I don't cost $1 gajillion, I just want you to know. A chicken dinner and 2 beers. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The only thing more powerful than knowing what to do is actually doing it. You can go from here and go back to work and say, wow, that keynote, she really stunk. Or, wow, she was really inspirational, but if nothing changes because of it, I failed you. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. But if I'm willing to go and do this in my schools, as painful as it is, because I know that those kids don't have a voice. They are innocent. And they are sitting in those classes saying, I wish someone would save me from this. But they're too shy or afraid. And what they don't need is a shy and afraid champion. You need to be their voice. You need to be their voice. There is nothing worse than a kid coming to you crying. That is the worst teacher experience I had over the 10 years I was in high school teaching. It's heartbreaking. Like, it's heartbreaking when that happens because it's emotional, but even when a kindergartner trips and falls and is crying, it's like, I cry too. I cry too. Like, why am I crying? Because we have that gift as champions where we feel the feelings of our kids, don't we? You know that empathy I'm talking about? Like your emotions just become their emotions, and then all at once you know how they're feeling. And you can't let another day go by. So this is Morgan, and here's what she's got to say to you. Hey, you. Yeah, you. What are you waiting for? Join Shape America and help us make 50 million strong. Thank you so much.
You're awesome.
Thank you. Oh!